Mailbag time. Got a whole bunch of stuff here. I'm going to do one big mailbag instead of two smaller ones, just to make a change. And of course I'm 2 months ahead of my mailbag videos. 2 months. There'll be links down below for these things if I can give you links to, don't forget that. So go and check those out in the description. Alright, this is a whole bunch of iPhone bits. Oh, it's not quite what I was expecting to get. Alright, so these are 6S Plus battery terminal covers. Well, one of the things I ordered was a bunch of metals from inside the phone, right? So you got all the various panels and little fixtures and stuff. Getting a whole bunch of battery covers wasn't quite my plan. Good thing they were cheap. I'm sure that's not what I ordered. I don't know, maybe I'll find a use for them. Little heat sinks or something, I don't know. Hot air shielding panels. They'll have a use for something, but that's not actually what I wanted. Alright, so we've got a BNC to a MCX connector. And a few more of these banana to BNC in different configurations. So you've got a male or a female in both types. Each combination. I do actually have some of these already. They're extremely handy, but there's been a couple of times I actually didn't have enough. I needed like 1 or 2 more for some test configuration I was doing. So I thought I'd buy some more. I mean, these are only cheap, but you know, they're good enough. And this MCX connector, this is what I got for the Finusi 3-in-1 tester, which I did a review on long ago. Well, a little while ago now actually, because it's like 2 months from the time I record this video to the time you're going to see it, most likely. And that uses an MCX connector on the top for its connection to the oscilloscope probe kind of thing, or you know, it doesn't have BNCs on it, which would be really convenient, but it's got these MCX connectors. So I thought I'd get some adapters and stuff in case I wanted to use it for anything, you know, portable, because that's what it'd probably be good for, is portable testing. Now I've actually got some way of connecting to it. Another BNC splitter. Now I've actually got like BNC Ts, so, you know, so the connectors on the ends, and they're okay. They can be used in most situations, but sometimes you actually need the cables to come out the front because they just don't fit very well otherwise. And I've been meaning to get one of these types of adapters for a while, so now I've got one. Alright, it's just a USB-C adapter thing. I did another one in a previous mailbag, I showed a different version. Basically the same thing actually. USB-C to USB-C adapter to C each end. Basically a pass-through, so you can put 2 cables end to end and have a longer cable run if you need one. Right, just a couple of 32GB memory cards, or MicroSD cards. I was getting a bit low, I think I only had 1 left, so time to get some more. Nothing too exciting about that. Nuts. Literally nuts. So I got a little nut assortment. These are Nyloc nuts, so they've got little nylon inserts on them, so they help to stop them undoing. So we've got M12 all the way down to M2 sizes of a little assortment. So there's been lots of times I've been working in bits of gear, like I've been replacing an ISC connector or something like that, and I've not actually had the bits I needed to, you know, mechanically bolt the thing in. I've struggled with nuts and bolts, stuff like that. I've got lots of salvage nuts and bolts laying around, little drawers, but it's always hard trying to find match pairs, stuff like that, and trying to find nuts to go on them. So I thought I'd get an assortment. I'm going to use them eventually. Okay, so I mentioned before about the MCX connector and that long cable here. This is a direct BNC to MCX adapter. A couple of those. I've got those for the same reason. I haven't actually come across MCX before for anything I've actually worked on. So having it on the Finusi thing was interesting. Anyway, now I've got some adapters and stuff, so yeah. Okay, this is more like what I was expecting. So these are the internal shield sets for the iPhones. So we've got all the screws, sets of screws, the whole lot, and the internal shield pieces. Now what I actually want is one particular shield that I need, one particular piece. That one there, I think it is. I think it's that one there. Or is it this one here? I don't know. It's one of them. Little black ones like this. I think it's that one. I'm not sure. It might be this one. My iPhone 6S Plus, it's got one of these in it, but it's got a crack right through there. And it's not a great connection. This is for the cellular antennas. Goes through this. So it adapts on the circuit board onto the frame of the phone. And that's what that piece does. But one's actually got a big crack through it. I think it is still making connection, but the fact the screw is no longer actually screwed down properly, I don't like that, so I'm actually going to replace it. And it's easy to get to, and just pull the screen off the phone and just replace it. It's easy to do. But now I've got some. but I had to buy a whole set to get it. White marker pens. Been meaning to get some white markers for a while. Sometimes you have a dark surface and you want to write on it. And this one's a finer tip one. These are basically paint markers, but sometimes you want to actually mark on a darker surface. And I had no way of actually doing that. I've been meaning to get something like this for a while. Now I've got some. There's back pin. Ooh, it's a camera detector. Apparently. Let's just rip it open. We don't care about the packaging. Well, in this case. I'll get into it eventually. Oh, come on. We're in. So in theory this thing's supposed to locate cameras. In theory. I think it detects infrared or something like that, I'm not quite sure. You'll see them. Maybe it detects reflection because it's got this LED arrangement on here. Okay. Let me get these charging. Let me try that first. Well, I went and tried it out. You actually have to hold this down, you have to squeeze it there and hold it for a few seconds before it turns on. So I'll do that now. There you go. And it's got two modes, it will flash, or you push it again and it will just stay on. Obviously flashing uses much less power, it will last longer. And hold it again to turn it back off. And you can just see maybe those little red lights flashing there, that's because it's on charge. Yeah, it does actually see the cameras. What it does is it looks for the reflection off the lens on the camera. So having the pulsing actually works quite well because you see the reflection turning on and off, and it's actually reflecting off the lenses. Yeah, I was playing shit on my security cameras and that's what it did. It didn't actually like light up for infrared. Well, it's not during the day, maybe at night it will do. It seems to work alright. Alright, got some locking washers here. Click subscribe right now, quick, before you forget. Like a star type washer. You probably see them in there quite well, I imagine. Also handy, sometimes you're trying to screw down terminals, things like that. I needed some of these too, I didn't have any at all. So these are some speaker surrounds. I've showed some of these things previously. I've done a speaker repair of my Wharfedale centre channel speaker. I was going to do the front left and right speakers as well because I bought enough of these surrounds to do that. But they weren't quite the same size. I don't know, the sizing wasn't quite the same. So they didn't fit as well. I haven't actually done those ones yet. Let me just get the other ones out which I can show you to compare. So these are the ones that just arrived, and this is the one I had before. These ones I've got previously. These are quite nice rubber ones, these are actually quite nice. These don't feel as nice, these are more foamy I think. These don't feel as nicer quality, but they're a different size. The reason I got these is because I needed a different size. So the outside diameter was right. Let's turn it over the other way so I can show you this. The outside diameter was correct, but the inside on the one I just got is smaller. Right, it's got a smaller diameter on the inside. So when I actually looked to make these ones up onto the left and right speakers, the inside diameter was too big. It was actually coming too far down the cone, and so I realised that I can't really use those ones. They're not really the right one. So these ones have got a smaller diameter on the inside edge, so it won't come down the cone as far. There we go. It's probably 5mm difference probably. It's about 5mm smaller or something like that. So I think these will fit a lot better. I mean, I could have probably used the ones I already had. They probably would have worked fine. I wasn't happy with the fitment, so I got these other ones, which are slightly smaller, just on the inside edge. So if you haven't seen that speaker repair video I did in the Wharfedales, if I do publish this video in August, which is when I think it's going to be, that was about 2 months ago. I published that in June. Go back and look for Wharfedale speaker repair. That's the video you want to look for. And that was back in June. Right, that's when I published it. And I actually show repairing the surrounds of these Wharfedale speakers I've got, and they came out really nice. They've been working fine. I've had that working now for at least a month and they're still good, so happy with that. Now we're starting to get into these bigger packages. Are they any better? I don't know, but they're bigger. Bigger's better, isn't it? Oh, apparently. So these are M4 bolts and nuts, various sizes of bolts, different lengths. Got M5 and M6. Now the M6 one is looking a bit worse for wear. This one obviously had the brunt of the impacts on it. This one, the other two look fine. This one here is a bit squashed. So I've got a nice selection there. These ones aren't likely to be used on electronics gear, but the M5 and the M4 likely will. Ah, it's battery packs. Right, okay. So these are 6V nickel metal hydride battery packs. 2.1 amp hours. Now I've been working on test equipment which has battery packs. I didn't want to over-invest in putting batteries in these things which, you know, don't get used that much. And sure, you could get Nyloc battery packs and replace like for like. I thought, well, why not just get some nickel metal hydrides, because some of these things will sit around for years quite happily without really degrading that much. I thought, well, let's just get some nickel metal hydride battery packs and I can retrofit these in pieces of test gear. So I've got bits of test gear which either have no battery packs installed because been removed years ago by someone, or they need replacement. I've got some 6-volt packs, so I can just drop in a 6-volt pack. I also had some other ones coming I think too, but these are the 6-volt packs. So I've got some bits of gear which definitely take these. I think the Keithley 150B I think takes it. I don't know, there's a couple of bits of gear I've got sitting around which will take 6-volt battery packs, so I'm likely to just use these and just drop them in because they've got a battery charging system built into them and these are fairly tolerant. So that's what those are for. I haven't done radio control stuff, you know, since I was a kid, so yeah, it's not for that.
Click subscribe right now, quick, before you forget.
Someone told me about these and I've been using them ever since. They work quite well. They're just little wipes, so you know, there's one there, just like that. So this is what I use when I'm cleaning up flux residue and stuff like that. They were fairly tough and they don't shred too much, which is quite good. They do shred if you really abuse them, but they're pretty tough really. You know, they're quite thin as well, but I've only got like one box left I think after that one I've got now, so it's time to restock. And they work fine. They're cheap. I mean, you could use things like kitchen towel, I think that works alright as well, but I want these because they're convenient. Don't forget to check out the videos down below, subscribe over there if you're not already subscribed, Patreon support link over there if you want to help me to buy more mailbag stuff or bits of test equipment to fix so I can use up my stock of these things. I always want to buy test equipment, always want to try and fix things. I like buying broken test equipment. So become a Patreon, help me buy them so I can do more videos about fixing test gear. Bye.